Welcome back. Tonight, we take a close look at the story that continues to unfold in Ilzam Ishq. Episode 42 aired on the 27th of October, 2025, on Hum TV. And in this chapter, the tension that has been building between love, loyalty, and truth finally begins to shift. This is not just another episode, it is a turning point, one that challenges every character's sense of who they are and what they stand for. The story begins quietly. Haya is alone, lost in thought. Her eyes tell a story of exhaustion, but also of clarity. After all the accusations, the doubts, and the isolation, she is ready to face the truth, whatever it may be. In the dim light of her room, she stares at her reflection, as if questioning the person she has become. Behind her, the sound of a ticking clock fills the silence. Time seems to be reminding her. She can't hide from what's coming. Meanwhile, outside that room, the world continues to whisper. Every conversation seems to circle back to her name. Every silence feels heavy. The false blame that has followed her for weeks now feels like a shadow that refuses to leave. But this episode changes that. For the first time, Haya decides she will not wait for others to clear her name. She will take control. When she steps out of her house, her expression is firm. She has a purpose. She visits the place where everything began, the home of the person who first accused her. The air between them is thick with unspoken tension. Haya does not shout, she simply asks. Questions direct, simple, and piercing. The accused hesitates, caught between guilt and fear. There is no dramatic music, no grand gesture, just two people facing the truth in silence. Back in another part of the story, Hadi is restless. He senses that something is wrong. The man who once stood at a distance, observing, now becomes more involved. Hadi begins to follow small clues, a misplaced letter, an overheard conversation, a sudden look of panic on someone's face. Piece by piece, the puzzle begins to take shape. He realizes that the entire situation may have been manipulated. Someone else, someone unseen, had a motive to create this chaos. The truth, it seems, has layers, and Hadi, determined to uncover it, quietly works behind the scenes. Later that night, he meets Haya. The scene is calm, almost intimate. He hands her something, a document, perhaps, or a message he found. She reads it slowly, her eyes widening with every word. The evidence is clear. Someone tampered with the facts, twisted them into lies. Haya doesn't react loudly. She just closes her eyes and breathes. Relief mixes with disbelief. For weeks, she had carried the burden of shame. Now, at last, she sees a path toward redemption. In the next scene, the family is gathered. The room feels uneasy. The elders sit quietly, their expressions tight. Haya enters, standing tall. There's silence for a moment. Everyone waits for her to speak. Her voice is calm. She tells them that she knows the truth now, and she will prove it. The words are measured, but powerful. No more tears, no more hesitation. She leaves the room as quietly as she entered, but the silence she leaves behind says everything. The camera lingers on Hadi, watching her from a distance. He knows that the road ahead will not be easy, but he also knows that Haya is no longer the same woman she was when the story began. She has changed. She has grown. The rest of the episode moves through short, subtle scenes, each one revealing how every character reacts to this shift. Haya's father, once certain of his judgment, begins to doubt his actions. He remembers her childhood, her honesty, her strength. Guilt creeps in. Her mother, always torn between love and social pressure, now finds courage to speak for her daughter. And in whispered conversations around the household, others begin to wonder if Haya was innocent, who was behind the deception all along. We see small glimpses of the antagonist, never directly named, but shown through gestures, expressions, a worried glance. The show doesn't rush to reveal the culprit. Instead, it allows suspicion to grow naturally, as it often does in real life. This is the quiet brilliance of Ilzam Ishq. It uses silence as a storytelling tool. It doesn't tell you what to think. It lets you feel the tension build inside you. Midway through the episode, there's a symbolic scene. Haya is shown lighting a candle in a dark room. It's a simple act, but it carries meaning. Light, truth, and hope, all represented in that single flame. She sits beside it, the glow reflecting on her face. You can almost see her resolve taking form. The candle will burn, even if the world around her tries to blow it out. Hadi, on the other hand, is shown standing by a window, staring into the distance. He's thinking. He knows the truth now, but he also knows that revealing it will come with consequences. There are people who stand to lose everything if the truth is exposed. The episode cleverly balances this moral dilemma. Is it enough to know the truth? Or does one have a duty to reveal it no matter who gets hurt? The pacing remains steady. Every line of dialogue feels deliberate. The actors deliver their lines softly, leaving space for the audience to process. There are no exaggerated expressions, no shouting matches, just human emotions, layered and restrained. By the three-quarter mark, Haya starts connecting the dots herself. She revisits earlier events, re-examining each interaction with new understanding. Flashbacks appear, not as filler, but as clues. Moments that once seemed innocent now reveal hidden meanings. It's like watching someone finally learn the language of their own past. There's a particularly powerful moment. When she confronts Hadi, she asks him gently but firmly why he didn't tell her sooner. He looks away, unable to answer. The silence between them speaks volumes. It's not anger that fills the space. It's the weight of trust lost and regained. In that quiet exchange, the audience sees the essence of their relationship. Two people bound by love, separated by circumstance, but united by truth. As the episode draws to its close, the focus shifts back to Haya. She stands outside, under an open sky. The camera pans slowly upward, showing her small figure against the vast horizon. It's symbolic, the individual against society, the truth seeker against false judgment. A soft breeze moves her hair. She looks determined, unafraid. The music swells, not dramatic, but hopeful, and the screen fades to black. Episode 42 ends here, but its impact continues beyond the credits. For the first time, the story gives its heroine control over her destiny. Until now, she has been pushed and tested by forces around her. Now, she becomes the force herself. Why does this episode matter? Because it reflects a shift not just in the plot, but in the tone of the entire series. It's the moment when the story stops being about blame and starts being about truth. It's about how one person's determination can challenge the weight of social expectation. The writers of Ilzam, Ishq have carefully built up to this moment. They have shown that redemption is not handed to anyone. It has to be earned through courage, honesty, and self-belief. Haya's transformation captures that idea perfectly. She doesn't seek revenge. She seeks understanding. She doesn't demand forgiveness. She demands fairness. In broader terms, this episode also holds up a mirror to society. It questions how quickly we judge, how easily we believe what we hear, and how rarely we stop to verify. Through Haya's journey, the drama invites viewers to look within themselves. It asks, if faced with a similar situation, would we stand for truth or stay silent to protect comfort? The cinematography deserves mention too. Every shot is purposeful. Muted colors dominate the frame, soft browns, grays, and whites, reflecting the emotional exhaustion of the characters. But in scenes where Haya asserts herself, light returns. This visual contrast mirrors the story's emotional rhythm. Darkness giving way to light. Humayoun Ashraf and Malik deliver restrained yet impactful performances. Their chemistry is built not on loud declarations, but on quiet understanding. Each glance, each pause, adds to the weight of their relationship. Malik as Haya captures vulnerability and strength with equal precision. Humayoun Ashraf as Hadi balances empathy with moral conflict, making his character believable. As the episode's credits begin, you're left with questions, not answers, and that's exactly the point. The story does not end here. It evolves. Episode 42 sets the foundation for a much larger revelation, one that will test every relationship and belief introduced so far. This is the hallmark of good storytelling. When an episode leaves you thinking long after it ends, when you find yourself replaying scenes, searching for details you might have missed, when silence says more than words. Ilzam-e Ishq has always been more than a love story. It is a social mirror, reflecting the pressures that define how love and honor coexist in our culture. Episode 42 captures that essence in its purest form. It doesn't shout, it simply speaks truth. And as viewers, we are reminded that the accusations of love, the Ilzam-e-Ishq, are not just about romance. They are about courage, honesty, and the willingness to stand alone when no one else will. That's what makes this episode unforgettable. It turns quiet moments into powerful statements. It transforms doubt into strength, and it proves that sometimes the softest voice in the room carries the greatest weight. As we look ahead to the next episode, we can only wonder what consequences the truth will bring. Will the guilty face justice? Will Haya and Hadi find peace, or will new challenge